Here we go.
I'm an icon when I try on, and I feel so extra fine. Stacked rings and necklaces, it's Barbie extra style. Come on, hey, you can rock it, cause the trendsetter knows her game. A designer, headliner, and I walk down the street like I walk down the runway. I'm a big deal, extra, hype is real, extra, fashion appeal, extra.
Hey fashionistas, this is Krista Ramchandani. Welcome to my podcast. My podcast series will be about fashion and beauty facts, as well as controversies. But it's not always going to be all gloomy, I promise. I will also discuss fashion trends for this 2022. Hey besties, this is Krista Ramchandani. Welcome to my 4th episode of Fashiontastic Podcast. Today's episode is about guilt-free fashion. Is your dress, t-shirts, or shoes you're wearing child labor free? Our topic today is an overwhelming topic for me, as it's about child labor. It can be difficult to believe truths that we aren't familiar with, to accept a reality that seems so far out of touch from our own reality world, where children our age or even younger face this on a daily basis. Fashion is one of the world's largest industry, representing our personality, economic statuses, and culture. While societies in developed countries may accept fashion practices, unjust clothing production processes are often ignored or unaddressed. What is child labor? According to the Oxford Dictionary, child labor is defined as the employment of children in an industry or business, especially when illegal or considered. Child labor affects an estimated 154 million children worldwide between the ages of 5 and 17, a continually growing trend that shows no discrimination to age. Why fashion industry hire child labor? Child labor has become a particular issue for the fashion industry because much of brand factories require cheap labor due to they want to have high profit with low cost. Fashion factories need low-skilled laborers as some tasks better suited to children rather than adults. For instance, in cotton picking, employers prefer to hire children for their tiny fingers because small fingers will not damage the crops. Why children want to work as labor? Child labor occurs all over the world in countries such as Egypt, Uzbekistan, Pakistan, India, Thailand, Bangladesh, and China are some of the countries where child labor is most common. Children want to work as a labor because of most of child labor lives in poor countries where the education level is low and demand for employment are high. The second reason is they are forced to work as labor due to their parents' economic status. They are tricked by factories, recruiters that gives them false promises about better living and high wages. The negative side of child labor. Child labor affects the social development of children as they are focused to work 14 to 16 hours a day, up to 7 days a week, to accomplish demanding deadlines, in which affects their social development. They have no time for playing with friends or doing any normal stuff that children normally do. Child labor also affects children's mental health development as they are derived from having an education. Child labor affects children's health as they have to work in hazardous working environments from a very young age in the textile and garment industry. Children suffer from exposure to harsh chemicals, inhaling fiber dust and dyes, as well as dangerous machinery. How to end child labor? Sadly, child labor won't be solved overnight. It is a battle that will require us to be relentless and determined to make a difference. Fortunately, change is absolutely possible. From 2000 to 2012, child labor decreased by 30%. Now, the question is, how can more change be made? First, brands can start by making sure child labor isn't a part of their production process. An Australian study found that 93% of brands do not know where their cotton is sourced from. Oh wow, they actually didn't know? Brand owners need to inspect factories to ensure that the work environment is safe, healthy, and workers are being paid a living wage. As a consumer, we can educate ourselves on the issue so we can educate our friends and family members. Fourth, we can reach out to the government officials and ask them to use their powers to enforce and implement stricter child labor laws. And last but not least, we can try to shop from fair trade brands. Do you know that the World Day Against Child Labor is on the 12th of June 2019? So, fashionista, to summarize, we need to stop child labor in fashion. It's an inhuman way for children to work. This is considered as a modern slavery. And I would like to encourage each one of you to take a step to end it. We need to ensure children our age or even younger to get better education and better standard of living. We need to educate ourselves about this matter so we can advocate to stopping child labor. We should be their voice for them to get justice. I will end this podcast with a famous quote from Malala Yousafzai. One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. Education is the only solution. Stay tuned for more intriguing and captivating facts about fashion. Stay safe, peeps!